Welcome back to Coffee and Conversation. So for all you Audie fans, he is asleep in the bedroom. He's been asleep in the bedroom for like weeks. Ever since this cold snap got here, he's just checked out. But he was up and running around all day long today because the temperature was in the mid to high 30s today. And for my friends overseas, 32.0, that's single digits in the UK. But still, that's a lot warmer than it's been here. So he was all over the place, totally interactive today, and finally just gave up on me. And I kept trying to take advantage of him being up and about so I could go in and change the sheets, because he has been hibernating in my bedroom for weeks. And I have been like changing pillowcases and things like that, but I didn't want to kick him out of the bed. You can see he's got me wrapped around his little finger. Didn't want to toss him out, so the bed sheets have not been changed in way too long. And I was hoping to get that done. But it has not happened yet. It's going to happen today, one way or another. It's absolutely going to happen today. I'm putting my foot down. So I'm going to have to figure out how to get him to want to leave the bed. But that has been one of my biggest struggles. The cat nesting in a bed I would like to change. All right, that's enough of my complaining about my cat. We're going to take a quick look at the intro and we'll be right back. So, before we get started, I would like to remind all of you that we have giveaways going on over on the suemeangels Facebook page. And if you have any interest, just go on over there, sign up. They make little games out of it. They turn it into fun. So go on over, check them out. What we are doing right now is handbags. And the angels have like 2 have already gone out. So the giveaways have started. So there's like 10, and that was the first 2 batches of photographs. The way this works is I send Colleen the photographs of the items. She runs the giveaway from there. Then I ship out the actual item itself. So, yeah, she still has, technically speaking, custody of like 10 handbags, and there are even more. So I started looking at that, thinking to myself, you know what this means? This definitely means I have a shopping problem, because these are all new, never used handbags. Because I will go into a store, I will say, I love that handbag, I must have it. It comes home with me. I put it on a shelf, and then I say, I don't really like that handbag as much as I thought I did. Or, I love that handbag, but I have no use for it. It was a nice idea, but the practical reality is just not there for me. Yeah. Nevertheless, I'm not going to take it back to the store, because when I shop, I bargain hunt. And if I got a fantastic deal on something, I'm not going to give that deal right back to the store. No. I'm going to do something with it. It's either going to be a giveaway piece or I'm going to donate it, but I'm going to make sure somebody somewhere gets the benefit of this bargain. Because, you know, my mother's sitting on my shoulder saying, oh, you can't bring that back to the store. You got too good a price on it. But anyway, what I really need to do is take a look at why I am buying so much. But more on that later. So last weekend, I took you through the process of loading up a duffel bag for the gym. And I'm giving you an update on that. Oh, that was not a success. Usually when something like this happens, I will load up the bag, take it to the gym, see if it works for me. And then over a period of time, refine the process, so that eventually, 2 or 3 months down the road, I will have everything I need. I will get into a routine of what to do with the things that come out of the bag and how to get everything back in properly, etc., etc. But it turns out that carrying a duffel bag is a very bad idea for me, at least at this time. Now, that is because of the knee replacement surgery. So, as most of you know, I imagine 6 years ago, I had my right knee replaced, and I was scheduled to have my left knee replaced 6 months later. Well, pandemic, no knee replacement for me. And then the following year, they were still only dealing with necessary surgeries. I don't know why they don't think knee replacement surgery is necessary, but I guess the fact that I was still walking around on that bad knee tricked them into believing I could do that forever. Yeah, and I understand that because it tricked me into believing I could do it indefinitely too. But then when I eventually, hit the point where I wasn't dealing with having to compete with people who probably truly did need their surgeries more than I needed mine. Because even though I consider it necessary, I was in fact able to walk around. It wasn't the end of the world. And frankly, like I say, other people probably needed it more. And then as time went on, this is like 2-3 years I haven't been walking. I've been walking around on a cane, and I start to put on a lot of weight. And then they were saying, no, you weigh too much. We don't want to do the surgery, which was very frustrating because, you expect me to lose weight, but you're not going to give me the surgery that will let me walk, which is how I will lose weight. Regardless, the medical establishment is strange. Eventually got my surgery. And now I'm dealing with the consequences of having walked around on a cane for like 5 or 6 years. And that alters your gait, it alters your weight distribution, it alters the way you move. And now, without the cane, and by the way, I am walking happily without the cane, and not just 2 or 3 steps. I mean, I'm walking miles without the cane. But I'm still not steady on my feet. And that was the reason for going to the gym in the first place, so I could walk on a treadmill where I have little grab bars, and if I don't feel safe, I've got grab bars right there. But as this relates to the duffel bag, carrying around a bag, and that was probably, I didn't actually weigh it, this is just a guess. I am guessing approximately 15 pounds worth of stuff in a duffel bag was throwing my weight off. And I decided I'm just uncomfortable with that. Because when I leave the gym, I walk about a mile to a local grocery store, which is good because I'm at the gym to walk, and walking to the grocery store afterward. These are good things. But I just wasn't feeling comfortable on my feet. And I have to admit that a lot of this is because we have a great deal of snow on the ground. The snow has been melting and refreezing, so snow, ice, in this back and forth cycle. That's probably part of it, but it doesn't alter the fact that I am not feeling stable enough to go wandering around with 15 pounds worth of duffel bag in my hand. So I have decided not a plan. And while I was going through all of those handbags that are going out for the giveaway, see, this is going back to the beginning. Yes, they are all related. I remembered that I have 2 backpacks, big backpacks, nice backpacks. Backpacks I could pack like probably a month's worth of clothing in these backpacks. So I hauled them out, and I am going to be trying one of the backpacks next. And my theory on this is if having a duffel bag on one side of my body or the other, because it doesn't matter whichever side I put it on, it's redistributing my weight in a way that I'm just not able to compensate for. If that's a problem, I'll just put it on my back, and at least I won't be unbalanced. I think that's a better plan for me at this point. So, duffel bag is out, backpack is in, and we'll see how that works out. The upside is the backpacks actually hold more than the duffel bag did. So, yeah, I'm not going to have difficulty cramming that full of everything I ever wanted to take with me. Because, as I mentioned when I was talking about prepping for the gym, I don't like being out of my own environment when I am doing something like showering. I want my bathroom stuff in my own bathroom. And if I can't have my bathroom business in the privacy of my own home, I'm going to take the privacy of my own home along with me so that I have everything, and I have my powders and I have my lotions and yeah. Yes, first world problems. Wow. But I do have a solution because of the backpacks. So, going back to the handbag giveaways, yes, obviously I overshopped for handbags. Fortunately for me, I happened to overshop for backpacks too, because I have two lovely backpacks that I have never actually used yet. This is good. This is going to give me an opportunity to do trial runs on the backpacks. So before I actually need to take them anywhere, other than the gym, I will have broken them in by taking them to the gym and at least gotten a feel for them. So this is a good thing. But then that led me to the next issue, which is I'm still over shopping. I'm still buying a lot of stuff. And I'm looking at this stuff that I am buying, thinking to myself, I need all that. I don't know where I sort of came up with this short circuit in my brain that tells me I need 150 tops. By the way, that's an estimate. It could be higher. Yeah, that's what I have. And remember, 3 years ago, I was working to scale down my clothing. I thought I had done a very, very good job of it. But then I just fell back into my same old acquisitive habits and just added more and more. Now, in my defense, I will say that, one, they were all good bargains, okay? So that has to go out there, but that's kind of part of the problem because I get sucked in by a good bargain. I'm almost as bad as my high school Spanish teacher. You remember her? She's the one that bought the elephant because it was on sale. A freaking elephant. She lived in Cranston, Rhode Island, and bought an elephant. She brought it home. It was in her mother's backyard. I don't even know what to say about that. I'm turning into her. Miss Pache, wherever you are, what a number you did on me when I was just a small, impressionable child. So, yes, bargains. 2, I do have to be in front of a camera 4 days a week. That does necessitate, well, it doesn't really necessitate, but it does, well, no, it's not really necessary that I change my clothes repeatedly, but it's something I would like to do for the benefit of my audience so that you don't have to see me in the same thing over and over again. That gets dull and boring. And so, yeah, that's another justification. But even as I'm explaining it to you, you can see clearly that it isn't holding much water. So I'm probably going to have to move that justification aside. Same thing with the bargain. My Spanish teacher, her elephant, that needs to get moved aside. It is my winter clothing and my summer clothing. I do not separate my seasonal outfits. Some people do that, but in fact, my summer clothing, most of it stays in use all winter because, okay, sweater. I will not wear this in the summer, although I might. It's wool. It's going to be perfectly acceptable on any day that is below 80. Wool does very well in the summer. It's not going to work for you. Well, it's not going to be the most comfortable thing in the world for you when the temperature is creeping over 90, but still, this is not something that is just, 3 months out of the year, which is the way it is with acrylic sweaters and any kind of polyester, because they will make you feel too hot and clammy in the summer. But I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm going to. This is an undershirt when I'm wearing a sweater. It is an independent, freestanding tank top when it's 90 degrees out. So in the winter, I'm layering all this stuff. And usually in the spring and fall, I do a lot of layering too. So, yeah. That's one of the reasons that I don't tease apart my winter and summer wardrobe. If it's in my closet, there's a very good chance I'm going to wear it no matter what time of year it is. So that does kind of inflate the numbers. Oh, and when I say 150 tops, I am including tank tops. I'm including sweaters. And some of those pieces, just to give myself a little more breathing room in this, some of them are actually what I would ordinarily call layering pieces. They're cardigans I would wear over something else. So I don't know. I'm not sure if that counts. It counts because I threw it out for you, which means I'm aware of how far out of control I've gotten. At this point, I would have to say that I believe about 90%, maybe more, of what is in my closet does actually fit me. There is perhaps 10%, maybe not even that much, that I have sized out of as I've been losing weight. Those are things that I should donate. Some of them I simply haven't donated because they're just, I like them. I like them. I don't want to get rid of them, but I should, because keeping clothing that fit me when I was a much larger size is not doing anything for my mental health. All it does is give me permission to regain the weight. Hey, I got the clothes there, I'll fit right into them. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to end up seriously backsliding. And that having clothes that fit you when you're a larger size gives you permission to backslide, even if that's not why you keep them. So I may, in fact, have to just go through those things and move them out. There are other things I may need to just move out because, they've been worn, they've gotten used. Perhaps they're not looking as good as they should. Perhaps they're no longer as useful in my wardrobe as they were. But I will tell you this, I think if I do that, I would still, at the end of the day, wind up with at least 120, 130 shirts, at least. So I'm buying too much clothing. I am just getting all kinds of things, and they're good pieces, and I get them at good prices. But Amazon had a sale on cashmere sweaters, and they were like $11, and I'll put the figure up on the screen for you. And they were like $11 and some odd cents each. Landed cost. So I just kind of went crazy because I was completely seduced by the great deal. Now, this is not top-of-the-line cashmere, but it's very nice cashmere. It's still cashmere, which is a very nice fabric. And I just bought everything, basically. If they had it in a color that I liked, I bought it. I probably shouldn't have done that. Now, you notice I threw in, probably. I should not have done that. No probably about it. But I did it because it was such a good deal. And the pieces are so nice, and I get so much more bang for my buck with this. And my rationale was, even if all I do is wear each one of those sweaters 2 or 3 times and donate them, I'm passing a good quality item off to someone else. And that's how I'm rationalizing this. But I don't know. I would probably be better off. I would be better off if I did not buy them in the first place. But see, then I have the other side of that. But what about the people to whom I will donate this? Because this will go to, the domestic violence center, where they have women who have fled their homes in the middle of the night with nothing but the clothes on the back and the babies in the arms. And, yeah, what about them? See, I can talk myself into anything. But I really do believe that it's appropriate to provide for people in distress. I don't have a problem with that. And so, yeah, I keep tying myself in knots over this. The reality is I've got to look at my shopping, why I am doing it. By the way, it's tops, it's not bottoms. I believe I have maybe 15 pair of trousers or any kind of bottoms, trousers, leggings, whatever. Maybe 15 pair, and that would be at most. No, it's just the tops. And part of that is because I can justify buying the tops because of the videos. If I were standing in front of you, like full length, maybe I would be able to justify buying more trousers, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to open that door for myself. But I do think I'm getting carried away. And I need to figure out how to put the brakes on this. Every time I look at this situation, I look at my closet and say, but I don't need to buy anything else. It won't be a problem not to buy things. Look how much stuff you have. Look how great it is. You love it all. Why would you need to buy something else? And then I'll find a sale on something and I will just buy. So that's not doing me any good. What I need to do is find a good mechanism for shutting off that shopping impulse. So, oh, by the way, I know why I shop too. I shop when I am bored. That's what I do. When I am bored, I do all kinds of things to alleviate the boredom. So, yeah, I will shop because I have a computer right in front of me and it's very easy. It's not the same as it was when I was in my 30s and had to go to the mall to buy something, or I had to go to one of the stores downtown, and frankly, I liked both equally. I was great with it. Drop me off at the mall, I'm perfectly happy. Downtown, perfectly happy. Didn't matter where I was shopping, I would have to go off and shop. And usually, somewhere between that initial impulse to buy something, oh, I should go shopping because I'm bored, and actually getting downtown or over to the mall to shop, somehow there was enough of a gap in between those 2 points for my common sense to kick in and for me to say to myself, why are you doing this? You don't really want it. You don't really need it. Stop. Not that way anymore. Now, with a computer in front of me, and by the way, I do my shopping on a computer. I got this too. I mean, I could actually go into the bathroom with my phone and shop. That's crazy. It's so much easier to buy now than it was years ago. You had to be so much more intentional about it years ago. I don't need to be intentional about this at all. I can just do it on a whim. And the amount of time between that initial impulse, I'm bored, let's shop, and the time that I am actively shopping online is nanoseconds. I mean, it's like bang, and there it is. And I have my favorite shopping sites bookmarked in my browser. So I don't even need to type the name into a search engine. No, I've made this too easy for myself. But I do need to look at this. And I did want to throw this out to you because I don't think I am the only person who is doing this. When I look at all of this chronic overspending in our society, I am convinced I am not the only person, and I just congratulate myself on being able to satisfy my shopping need with this was I think a $35 sweater. Yeah, there are people out there who are buying $80,000 cars in order to satisfy their shopping jones. I am not that bad. My mother's on my shoulder. She would never let me spend $80,000 for a car. Wouldn't do it. So I think this may be something that's widespread in society based on what's going on, but it may be something that is of interest to our community because I don't know if you folks are dealing with the same things. And so why don't you tell me in the comments? Is that what you do? You get bored, you shop? Or are you one of those, I get bored and I eat? Or do you have some other little unpleasant vice that comes out when you're bored or lonely or depressed or anxious? So we should talk about this because, of course, people had asked me when I went in for weight loss counseling when I was heavier. People would say, are you eating out of depression? It's like, no, I don't get depressed. First of all, I don't do depression. I eat out of boredom. If I am feeling unhappy, I shop, And the truth is, I don't get unhappy either. I think both overeating and over shopping is the same source for that. I think both of them come from boredom. So, yeah, maybe what I need to do is find a more constructive hobby. I was thinking about jigsaw puzzles, but Audie's never going to let me do that. But I need to find some sort of, hobby to occupy my hands, to get me away from the computer screen when I'm bored, maybe get me out into the community a little. I think that would go a long way to resolving my issue. But I want to hear from you folks. Do you have this sort of thing? Are there other things in your life? For all I know, we may have a passel of day drinkers out there. It's like, yeah, I get bored, I grab the vodka. Anyway, no judgment, because obviously I'm sharing my own vices with you. And one vice is basically the same as the next, as we all know. So let me know in the comments, what are your triggers for, your addictions? Do you overeat when you're bored? Is it when you're depressed? Is it when you're anxious? Is that the same sort of thing that's going on for you, or is it something completely different? Because we can take a look at this. Okay, that's where we're at right now. Let me remind you again to go check out the suemeangels Facebook page. Check out the giveaways, because, yeah, I got a lot of stuff. You got to help me get rid of it. And I have been working on a new Audie video, and I'm going to give you the teaser today. Hopefully the full video will be up for tomorrow. But I have been putting Audie's fantasy life into AI, because I know what's going on in that little cat's head. And I'm giving him pictures to show that I support it. Yes, my cat's very, very rich fantasy life. So this is the incomplete partial version of the video coming up. So, thank you for being with us today. I hope to see you again tomorrow. And watch the audio video. And in the meanwhile, have a terrific day.